I'll be stepping down as party leader as soon as an interim leader can be appointed.
Canadians voted for a tax dodger. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today, apparently, half of Canada thinks a tax dodger, green grifter, guy who doesn't pay taxes in Canada and helps his business avoid taxes in Canada is the right guy to lead Canada. I'm disappointed in Canadians. I think a lot of people voted who just didn't know anything about the candidates. They shouldn't vote. Only people who are educated should be voting. But that's not what we got. We got people duped by Mark Carney. There's still a lot of moving parts here, and throughout the next day, some of these ridings are so close that it'll probably still change. Let's jump into this. So starting this episode off, you can see I'm filming this at 12:28 a.m. This is where we're at, 167 for the Liberals, 145 for the Conservatives, 23 Bloc, 7 NDP, 1 Green. Meaning if you added the NDP, not Jagmeet, because as you're going to see here, he stepped down because he lost his seat. You add that 7 to the 167. That puts them at 174, and all they need is 172 to have a majority government. So likely we'll have to endure at least another 6 months, a year and a half, maybe 2 years more of this madness that has already destroyed our country. And just looking at this one, these are the verified seats. So it's 152 to 132 right now with, you can see what's left on these. You notice too, the NDP here, they have lost official party status because they need 12 seats, which means they'll lose extra funding. This party is basically no more. Taking a look at the close ridings, look at this. This is outrageous. Look at this, separated by 25 votes, 28 votes, 46, 203, 142, 190, 173, and 300. So these are still moving. By midday tomorrow, these probably would have changed again. I checked this about 25 minutes ago, and one of these was leading with the NDP and now is flipped. And both these two were leading Liberal and have both flipped Conservative. So a lot of moving parts here. But if we just look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats, all leading by Liberal and all separated by a couple hundred votes, that could be 6 more seats for the Conservatives. This election was very, very close. It shouldn't have been this close. I just don't know why people would want to vote for a tax dodger. I work really hard and I don't dodge my taxes, but I will be following through on my promise because the Liberals have won a minority government, as it seems. If there's someone out there who's a lawyer who knows how to dodge taxes in Bermuda, Cayman Islands, please get in touch through my email address. I want to set up my business so I can also dodge taxes like our Prime Minister, and then I'll create a guide for everyone else in Canada, and all of you can dodge taxes with me because I don't want to pay my taxes to the Liberal Party anymore to have them send it off to Al-Qaeda and gender-sensitive money laundering projects in Uganda. I'm not paying for that anymore. So if someone is a lawyer and you know how to do this, please get in touch. Throughout the night, there was one theme, and that's the mainstream media was campaigning. They were cheerleading for the Liberals. This is highly corrupt. So congratulations, mainstream media. You guys did your job. You campaigned for the Liberals. Your team won a minority government. As we see here with Rosemary Barton, who's very relieved that Charlottetown is okay. Charlottetown went Liberal.
We've had one additional poll close in Les Îles La Madeleine, Gaspésie, and we'll have another big dump of them at 9:30 Eastern, of course. But let's go to Adrian, who has some results. Adrian.
Well, I'm very relieved to see that Charlottetown is okay.
Good.
We're getting first results from Charlottetown. Let's have a look at that.
They're very relieved that it's okay because they get these big fat paychecks from the Liberals and they wouldn't want to run things fairly in our country. They want to be compromised losers on national television. These people have no honor. They are awful human beings. How bloody blatant can they be? Bought and paid for. CBC is not news. This is not journalism. It's advertising for the Liberals. Yes. Bang on. That's our unbiased national broadcaster. They did this multiple times. Right in the start when the Conservatives were leading by a couple and then the Liberals came in and tied it up, Rosemary said, "Oh, we'll take that. Yeah, good. We're tied up." Early on, multiple news media, including the BBC, CBC, CTV, they all said the Liberals won. Then they backtracked it because they called it 3 or 4 hours early when it wasn't even close. Not even 30% of the votes were counted. Like this stuff here, breaking: CBC projects Liberal Party will form the next government. Too soon to say if it's minority or majority. CTV News declares Liberal win. And this one from BBC, why Carney Liberals won and the Conservatives lost. Goes on to talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump screwed us over. Like, he really screwed us bad. One thing's for certain, Donald Trump is probably going to be enemy number 1 in Canada, because not only have the Liberals who don't like Donald Trump, but now a bunch of Conservatives who really like Donald Trump probably don't like Donald Trump now. R.I.P. Canada. Like, listen to this absolute filth coming from CTV.
The word that keeps coming up again and again is polarization. So talk to me, John.
Well, I mean, our shows and shows across the country tomorrow are going to be where people start to vent, I think, and maybe where Liberals want to brag. I mean, the problem with the two political parties and their followers and voters, those who are entrenched, is both of the parties think the other one is an existential threat when in government. So Conservatives are going to be very angry, and also angry about the fact that, I mean, they had the Liberals on the ropes, and they've already put up with 10 years of the Liberals, so it's going to drive them crazy. And one last aspect in all of this is, as you know, Bill, probably from your texts and calls on my show, a cohort of Liberals these days, or a cohort of Conservatives, like to own the libs. And tonight they've been denied the chance to do so.
I know that you're eager to say something, Bill. Don't hold back.
Well, you just look at those numbers, and what you see is Canada becoming a two-party country.
But haven't we always been that way?
Well, no,
For a
I don't
long
think to the
time.
degree we're seeing right now with the NDP.
No, the NDP was the official opposition. We were a three-party country. The Liberals have intentionally brought in their hug-a-thug catch-and-release system, which has resulted in people who've lost their family members. So, of course, people are angry. Only Canada can someone remove 5 people from existence and only get 4 years for each life. Life does not matter in Canada under the Liberals.
And so far, Conservatives are angry with people who voted Liberal. But I don't think that anger will last long. I think it will.
Are you kidding me? These people are traitors to our country. They betrayed us. Either a bunch of dummies who have no idea what's going on in our country and just decided to vote for the banker who dodges his taxes, or they're educated and they're really evil, because no one should have voted for that guy. The Liberals are all high-fiving, but it's like, as people are mentioning, Alberta's going to move to leave this country, and so will Quebec, and then no one will be paying the bills in Canada. Throughout the night, you saw stuff like this.
River to blue with controversial candidate Aaron Gunn. He's been under fire for his views on residential schools.
Controversial candidate. There's nothing controversial about him. They tried to make controversy out of it, and the voting was still going on while they said this. This was posted about 3 or 4 p.m. The polls closed at 7. They're trying their best to get Aaron Gunn to lose. Mainstream media is campaigning for the Liberals. This must stop. If we go through some of the ridings, some of the more shocking things like this, Pierre Poilievre's riding, Bruce Fanjoy getting 50% of the vote, Pierre Poilievre at 46. What has Bruce Fanjoy done in his life to get any of these votes? You know, there's so many attacks on Poilievre. I'm hearing a lot of older people didn't know how to vote for him because there's 91 people on the ballot. We need to take aim at that organization. We need to seek vengeance against them. That longest ballot initiative, I'm coming for you. I'm going to look up every single person on there. Buckle up, bitch. Something else to note about this, so there's 55,000 votes reporting here. This electorate has 93,000 people, so they haven't counted all of them, and this was sitting before with Bruce Fanjoy leading by about 15 or 16%, and it just keeps getting closer and closer. So this one's not done yet. You can see here 219 of 266. So Poilievre might still win this one because the Conservatives are the ones most likely who did all the advanced voting. All the advanced votes get counted at the end. So by the time in the morning, we should know. Next up, we got Mark Carney insulting Pierre Poilievre after he won. Apparently, this is how you unite Canada.
And for those who were elected, particularly those Liberals who were elected, I am looking forward to working together to deliver for Canadians. This says, Bruce. And Bruce, yes, Bruce Fanjoy. I'm looking forward to working with Bruce Fanjoy. Fantastic. He's a great...
He knows how insulting that is. With his cheeky little smile, he thinks he's so coy, so smug. This guy's such an arrogant p***.
He will be a great MP.
This guy dodges his taxes, gets China to campaign for him, mainstream media to campaign for him. I'm sick and tired of this crap in this country. This country is so unbelievably corrupt.
We're going to have fun tonight. Yes, we're going to have fun. Yeah.
I mean, look at this guy's mouth.
Bruce Fanjoy. I'm looking forward to working with Bruce Fanjoy.
These greasy little... Like, this is rotten. This is not behavior of a prime minister. I mean, look at the comments in here. Do you think something is off with his writing? It's not a joke. What does he know? It's interesting that the Globe and Mail came out with that article saying that Pierre Poilievre might lose his riding when clearly on 338 he was ahead by 10%. Look at this video here. Look who's hosting Mark Carney's party here, the Globe and Mail. So disrespectful. That's what we can look forward to. How does this unite the country? It's impossible to believe that Poilievre won almost a winning vote in Canada for PM but lost his riding. Classless, followed by mocking Alberta and Saskatchewan. And just doing an update here before I go to bed. So Poilievre's riding here is now 256 of 266 polls, and now it's 50 to 46. So I don't think he's winning his riding. So how he'd have to get a seat is someone else would have to step down, and then he would have to run in a by-election in a safe riding somewhere. It's just unbelievable that Mr. No Name here can easily dethrone the Conservative leader who's brought the party from 119 seats up to 145 or whatever it ends up being. With that direct attack of 91 candidates on the ballot and all the dirty tricks, this doesn't sit well with me. Rosemary Barton here already laying the groundwork, as Mark Nixon says here, claiming the Conservatives want him to step down because he didn't win a majority.
I think it's very clear. Regardless, we'll see what happens inside his own riding, and we're being very careful because advance votes and all those kinds of things. But he was definitely laying the groundwork that he has no intention of leaving, and he was pointing to the proof points as to why he deserves to stay and continue this fight. And I know you think that he will. I do know people who are already gearing up to try and push him out. We'll see what happens.
Well, I know a lot of Conservatives in Canada, and I haven't heard that from anybody. Not to say they don't exist.
Well, they exist. I don't know if they tell you, but they told me.
They exist. They told me. Least credible journalist in Canada, Rosemary Barton.
He certainly has. He certainly has earned, in my view, the right to stay on as leader for the reasons I've already articulated and that he did tonight. Look. He's got to show some humility for sure. Any leader who loses in any circumstance has to do that.
This situation is unfathomable. Mark Carney ran on nothing. They had a horrible track record, a bunch of watered down nothing policies. Any of the other policies he had, he ripped off of Poilievre. The entire time he just kept on saying, we're in a crisis, we need to catalyze. And side note, David Cochrane was also saying catalyze throughout the night as well, picking up Carney's language. Carney runs on nothing, fear and crisis. Poilievre campaigns across Canada on hope with real policies to fix the country, and he loses. I'm done with the CBC. She's repugnant. He's talking about Doug Ford most likely. Yeah, Doug Ford, that slippery rat, probably wants to slip his way in there. She's such a windbag. I'm mostly sorry that this useless enterprise isn't going to be defunded. Other ones like Sean Fraser's riding here. At one point he was losing it. Now he is sitting 51 to 43. So this absolute loser who destroyed immigration and housing in Canada gets another seat most likely. Mark Carney's riding of Nepean here that he stole from Chandra Arya, 63 versus 33, and there's only 2 left, so he's going to get that one. Just imagine that. Someone in Barbara Ball who served in the military, served as a police officer, lost to a man who dodges taxes, who's Canada's biggest tax dodger. That's how stupid the population is in Canada. We have some really low IQ people living in Nepean. It is quite unbelievable. And we've got Stephen Guilbeault's riding here. You can see he won 49% to 20%. I don't even know what kind of people live in this country. I'm someone who's based in common sense, and this is stupidity, beyond stupidity. Same thing next door here. Mark Miller's riding 61 to 20%. Wow, these people are just quite something, aren't they? It's like a bad dream. We've got Burlington here. Karina Gould's riding. She's sitting at 52 versus 43. Also, Adam Van Couverden right next door, 52 versus 44. I guess Canadians want suffering. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. So at the time of filming this is what Calgary looks like. So one of them here looks like it may go Liberal. It's down to 1 point, so this could flip. The other 2 here, Calgary McKnight, which was Liberal before, is up by 4%. That's George Tahal's riding, so that's nice. This one's also up by 4%. So looking at Edmonton, so we've got one that's Liberal. This NDP one is a sure one, 46 to 33. And then this one here is still not quite counted, but seems likely 50 to 44 for the Conservatives. Vancouver Island has been flipping all night, back and forth. My riding here keeps getting closer and closer with every minute. So 66,000 votes counted, 39 to 34. There's still 20 polls to go, so it's possible. Aaron Gunn looks like he's going to win his. 39 to 33. So Nanaimo Ladysmith, this one's going Conservative. This was the one of those ones that had all 4 of them both the same. Well, 35% here going to the Conservatives. The reason for this is there's so much street candy and zombies everywhere. The more that people see this, the more that people want the Conservatives. And that's the problem. The Laurentian elites of Canada, the Liberal voters who don't have to deal with this stuff, they just keep voting Liberal. But if they had people robbing their houses and having needles all over their front doors, then maybe they'd think twice about about that. This one, Couch and Malahat, 37 to 33. So that looks like it's going conservative. Elizabeth May looks like she was going to lose her riding, and out of nowhere now she's 39 to 29. Unbelievable. And so the leader, Jonathan Pedanote, I think they're both leaders, but he's not winning his. And the Liberals were able to pick up 2 seats down here. This one, Souk, just outside downtown Victoria, as well as downtown Victoria, 50 to 26. You can see Vancouver is a big toss-up right now. So I just want to show an update to this. So I filmed this earlier. Now take a look. Now the Liberals are leading in a couple of these. The NDP in one, but the Conservatives have flipped a different one. This is crazy. I mean, look, 28 votes, 46, 66. This election is so tight. Now, as for one of Canada's biggest traitors, Jagmeet Singh, his here Burnaby Central. Is it any surprise here that he lost? He absolutely got smoked, 18% in his own riding. This is so close that the Conservatives nearly won this, 41 to 39. With that said, Jagmeet Singh has just come out to say he's going to resign as NDP leader after losing BC seat. Now, during the election, the NDP came out and said that they would give him another seat. So this just came out. This guy is such a traitor to Canada. He doesn't serve anyone but himself.
Thank you. We're good. Thank you. Thank you. That was very nice of you, very sweet of you all. Thank you so much. Tonight, I've been informed a party leader that I'll be stepping down as party leader as soon as an interim leader can be appointed. Now, I could not have done this incredible job without, here's a point, give me a second to break down a bit. I couldn't have.
This guy laughs. He's an awful politician, even worse person. He tanks the party to unofficial status. I think they worked a deal out. No politician is this dumb. Jagmeet intentionally tanked this party to send all of that over to the Liberals. Probably some dirty back-end deal where he's making out like a bandit. He does not seem surprised, shocked, or that he even cares that much that he lost his seat. And now he's stepping down as leader.
Done it without the incredible support of my wife, could have kidded.
Here we got Pierre Poilievre giving a speech after everything has happened.
And we did all of this in a very difficult environment. That said, we are cognizant of the fact that we didn't quite get over the finish line yet. We know that change is needed, but change is hard to come by. It takes time. It takes work. And that's why we have to learn the lessons of tonight so that we can have an even better result the next time the Canadians decide the future for the country.
I fear a lot of Canadians don't have any more time. The emails I get, the people I talk to, this is their last hope. Like, a lot of people are ready to check out of existence because the Liberals have made life so miserable in this country. That's the problem here. Liberals who live in nice neighborhoods, who don't have to deal with street candy and needles and robberies and home invasions and everything else, just voted to screw over the rest of us. If you look in the areas where those things are rampant, they're voting blue.
Canadians have opted for a razor-thin minority government, a virtual tie in the vote count. So I would like to congratulate Prime Minister Carney on leading this minority government. We'll have plenty of opportunity to debate and disagree, but tonight we come together as Canadians. We will do our job. Yes, we will do our job to hold the government to account. But first, we congratulate people from all political backgrounds on participating in the democratic process. And as I said, while we will do our constitutional duty of holding government to account and proposing better alternatives, we will always put Canada first as we stare down tariffs and other irresponsible threats from President Trump. Conservatives will work with the Prime Minister and all parties with the common goal of defending Canada's interests and getting a new trade deal that puts these tariffs behind us while protecting our sovereignty and the Canadian people.
Just listening to that, I was thinking of Pierre just obliterating Mark Carney in the House of Commons. But if Pierre doesn't win his seat, that's not the case. So technically, Pierre Poilievre can stay on as leader, but he wouldn't be able to debate in the House of Commons. He'd have to wait for a by-election and then get a seat that way. This is all crazy. Like, people voted for a guy who dodges his taxes, who moved his business from Canada to America. I don't even know what to say.
Conservatives have achieved major breakthroughs tonight. We brought in record support from blue-collar and unionized workers, youth, new Canadians. We gave voices to countless people across this country who've been left out and left behind for far too long. We won the big debates of our time on the carbon tax, on inflation, on housing, on the drug crisis, on crime. Conservatives have been leading the debate, and we will continue to put forward the best arguments to improve the lives of our people right across this country. But we will not stop there. Every single day, our Conservative caucus and I will be holding the government to account on behalf of the millions of Canadians who believed in the message of change. Now, I know that some of you might be disappointed that change did not get over the finish line tonight. Change takes time. Most of all, it requires that we never give up, because our people and our country are worth fighting for.
The Liberals spend $1 million a day through CBC spreading propaganda. They cheated. This whole situation is highly corrupt. Listen to them on CBC doing the math, seeing how the Liberals can win.
So maybe you don't know this, and maybe this is a hit that someone will make for me, but if they need 6 seats to get to 172, is that possible?
I'm going to be like the Jim Carrey meme.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a chance,
Yeah.
right? Like there's seats here where you take one from the NDP, so that moves it to 167 to get Vancouver Kingsway.
It's easy. You just coalition with the NDP again.
Brampton, North Caledon will be, a one you take away from the Conservatives. Terrebonne would take one from the Bloc. So these, that's to get you up to 169. Nunavut would take one from the NDP, and then you get there's the new Milton one, Milton East Halton Hills, where my excellent producer Tyler lives, or is from. Sorry, and make sure am I hitting this right, Tyler? Direct. There we go. I got it on the first try. This would be from the Conservatives. Look, you have a 473 vote lead for Parham Gill, 184 of 201 polls reporting. Milton is an area that has voted Liberal. As condo towers go up, more Liberal voters tend to move in as the city moves to the suburbs and the suburbs move to the exurbs. So with that many polls remaining, there's 4, 5, 6 there. It's still a mathematical long shot, but it is a possibility, and a good chunk of these seats may in fact even be a probability.
They're so desperate for that Liberal majority. These guys are awful. Their bias is unbelievable.
I have a question. Who's ready? Who's ready?
Who's ready to get infiltrated by China? Because I've got all the connections. Who's ready?
Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me?
Who's ready to dodge taxes? Because I'll be doing it just like you, Mr. Prime Minister.
And who's ready? Who's ready to build Canada strong?
Who's ready to build up the carbon credit industry so Carney can get rich?
And I want to congratulate Pierre on a hard-fought, fair, good campaign, his commitment to the country that we both love.
Fair? Yeah, Polyev ran a fair campaign. You had Xi Jinping in China campaigning for you, mainstream media campaigning for you. This is not fair. The only thing that was fair in this entire process was the actual counting of the ballots.
They all have many, many more contributions to our land. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Diana, for your work on this campaign.
Diana's getting exposed. She's got a bunch of skeletons in her closet, which I just didn't get enough time to get to.
Thank you, Diana, for the commitment and compassion you bring to everything that you do.
Okay, we don't need to listen to this filth. I want to point out this riding here. So Toronto St. Paul, this is the one that Don Stewart just won in the by-election, whatever that was, 6 or 8 months ago. And now look at this, 61 to 32. The population in Canada, so many people are just sheep. People can't think for themselves. They're easily brainwashed. All this coming down to Donald Trump. Everything switched. They brought in the worst 10 years of Canadian history, and Donald Trump comes around and suddenly, oh no, I guess I have to vote Liberal again. I am absolutely gobsmacked. I don't understand the 41% of Canadians who can't think for themselves. And side note, the art dealer here, Mark Carney's art dealer, the guy who got fired from CBC, Evan Solomon, won his 63 to 21. That's right. If you've got a dirty past, it doesn't matter. Looks like becoming a criminal in Canada is going to be the best new profession.
Humility in recognizing that, well, many have chosen to place your trust in me, trust in the Liberal Party. Millions of our fellow citizens preferred a different outcome. And my message to every Canadian is this: no matter where you live, no matter what language you speak, no matter how you voted, I will always do my best to represent everyone who calls Canada home.
What's in your blind trust? How about you start with that?